Daniels just told farmers in Tennessee they've got to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while they sip whiskey off their pain. So here's the deal. So for years, the Jack Daniels Company had this agreement with the farmers of Moore County, Tennessee. Farmers raise cows and Jack Daniels makes whiskey. Everybody wins, right? Because see, after you distill all that liquor, you wind up with all this waste, this grain waste that they call slop. Now, instead of just throwing it away, Jack Daniels used to give it to farmers for free or like really dirt cheap. Farmers fed their cows, Jack Daniels got rid of the waste, and everybody was winning. But as of March 31st this year, all that's done. Now, it got pulled because Jack Daniels has started using this new, what do they call it here? An anaerobic digester facility. So basically, it needs constant grain, and it eats the leftover grain for energy, so there is no waste, which means there's no more slop left for the farmers. So now they're all scrambling to find a way to feed these animals because in a market where everything has gone up, even feed has too. Now, the craziest part of this is the government isn't stepping in to help this time. Farmers being told, figure it out, you're on your own. Which is wild because farmers are used to getting government handouts, but this time it ain't coming. Well, this is the America you voted for. Big corporations change the rules, cut the little guy out. And the people in power are just going to shrug like it's not their problem. Elections have consequences, and not just for you, but for your cows too. The next time you pour up a glass of Jack Daniels, don't forget, somebody's cows went hungry so the distillery could save a buck. Cheers to that, America.
You guys want to talk about some crazy shit? This is $100 worth of groceries. $100 even. That's before taxes. $100 right here.
Hi guys, welcome back to Prince Ichie's Unfiltered channel. If you are joining us for the first time, you are welcome to the chaos. To our viewers and our subscribers, we appreciate your likes, your comments, and staying till the end. So guys, let's get into today's topic. You won't believe what is happening in Tennessee right now. Loyal Trump supporters, people who once stood firm, are finally confronting reality they never expected. And it's hitting them in the only place that changes everything, their wallet. For years, Trump base was seen as unbreakable, but today, in towns across Tennessee, something unimaginable is unfolding. Rising prices, shrinking paychecks, fewer opportunities. These are the same voters who cheered the promise, but now they are counting the costs.
One of the people that's going to be losing their Medicaid next year. I cannot work due to the fact I have 3 herniated discs in my back. I have tachycardia, which is a rapid beating of my heart. My question to you is, how can I still afford my medications and get the surgery that I'm going to need? Because I do need to get surgery to have these discs repaired. And I'm just scared because my depression medication is $800 out of pocket, and my tachycardia medication is $5,000 out of pocket.
Children who identify as snakes, cats, whatever, they're providing litter boxes for the cats. Obviously, it's very disruptive to the learning process. If a child has that much of a self-identity issue, they probably need a different environment. And it's creating a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety with the children who are boys and girls. People who identify as cats using a litter box in a hallway, that is not good. That is not healthy for anybody in a lot of different capacities. So I thank you, Representative Littleton, for addressing that growing crisis in our quote-unquote public schools.
Yeah. Now, I just found out that I'm pregnant again. I've been with my partner for about 15 years, though we're not married. I just had my first visit, and that provider told me that thanks to that act, they were not comfortable treating me because I am an unwed mother, and that goes against their Christian values. I'm lucky enough to live in a part of the state where I can seek care across state lines, and that's what I'm doing, traveling to Virginia for my prenatal care, scared out of my mind that I will go into labor and not be able, or have to deliver in this state with a provider who feels that that child's life is more valuable than mine.
Okay, hey, so I thought I would just make a quick video about this, but in Tennessee, the cost of childcare has surpassed the cost of college tuition. Like, we are literally reaching a point in Tennessee where it is more expensive to pay to send your child to daycare than it is to send your child to school within the state, to send them to college within the state. Like, it's more expensive for daycare than college. And for a lot of people who have children, daycare is really the only option that they have to have childcare throughout the day, especially if you are a working parent. Not everybody has the benefit of a grandma or an aunt or a cousin or even a neighbor who they know and are comfortable with to watch their children while they go work or while they run errands, etc. When I looked online, people are averaging $1,000 a week in daycare costs. Literally, for a 40-hour work week, they're averaging $1,000. So combine that with a rent or mortgage, groceries, car note, car insurance. That is some people's entire paycheck and then some. And it's clearly only increasing. There are a ton of people within the Tennessee legislature who have been promoting and pushing bills to help reduce the cost of childcare and help provide some sort of remedy for parents who are struggling to pay for childcare. But as you can see just on this article from the Tennessean that was released today, we've surpassed the cost of even college tuition, which is like the big spend that parents talk about when they first have a kid. So now the mindset is going to shift from saving up for college to just saving up for daycare, literally. Pay attention to Tennessee and also the Tennessee legislature because they tend to get away with a lot of stuff under the guise that their state has already been red forever. But Tennessee also tends to reflect the broader change that will happen inevitably across the nation. So keep your eyes on Tennessee. Keep your eyes on the Tennessee legislature. Don't be afraid to give some Congress people a nice call telling them that you are not happy with the cost of childcare in the state.
Right now, if you vote Democrat, I don't even want you around this church. You can get out. You can get out, you demon. You can get out, you baby butchering election thief. You cannot be a Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. I don't care how mad that makes you. You get pissed off as you want to. You cannot be a Christian and vote Democrat in this nation. They are God-denying demons that butcher babies and hate this nation. Bunch of devils. I'm sick of it. They want to talk about the insurrection. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen an insurrection yet. You keep on pushing our buttons, you low-down sorry compromisers. You God-hating communist America. You'll find out what an insurrection is because we ain't playing your garbage. We ain't playing your mess. My Bible says that the church of the living God is an institution that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And the Bible says that we'll take it by force. That's what the Bible says.
I'm Marcia Blackburn. Here in the volunteer state, we always lead the way. And that's why I am announcing my candidacy for governor.
Every day, Tennessee is losing 200 acres of farmland. That's according to a new University of Tennessee study. This all comes as more people move here and housing developments are taking up some of that land. In Knox County, more than 5,000 residential permits were approved in 2023, which is a record high. With this increased demand for housing, some have decided to sell their land. And it's not just East Tennessee seeing that trend.
Now it's definitely occurring, or the high rates of change are definitely occurring in Middle Tennessee. East Tennessee has had a lot of change over time. The rate at which it's changing is not as much as Middle Tennessee.
Researchers say at some point, if more farmland continues to disappear, we will eventually see that impact at the grocery store. You might already be seeing it when you buy beef.
I filled it up this morning. to the brim.
For farmers, this might as well be considered liquid gold.
This is the byproduct from Jack Daniel's distillery. It's their waste product.
Since he was 20 years old, Terry Holtz made the daily drive to the distillery.
It'll be gone tonight.
To keep his hundreds of heads of cattle fed, he hauls back tens of thousands of gallons of slop. He's done so every day for most of his life.
And I've been at it 365 days, multiply it times 45, and you'll find, days I've hauled it. I don't miss, hon. I don't miss any day the hauling my slop. So
it's that important to
that's that important to me, and it's important to Jack Daniel. We get it gone, and that's what I thought, that it was important.
No longer. Jack Daniels is sunsetting the cow feeder program. Holt and his neighbor farmers will no longer receive the food they use to keep their livestock and livelihoods going. The company instead contracted with Three Rivers Energy, an energy plant that converts the slop into renewable gas and fertilizer.
All I know is that's going to destroy us.
And the distiller's decision will undoubtedly affect the entire county. That's because according to the most recent census data from USDA, 89% of Moore County farms are livestock operations.
Can we not get someone to hear us? Can we not get someone for Brown Farmer to hear my voice and say, hey, we might want to look at that again?
Farmers are already selling their lands and livestock, and Holt worries for the future. He feels the company he used to work for, retired from, and continued to support by working his farmland dawn to dark, no longer cares.
Jack Daniel grew up with the people here. You used all those images to grow. And then now you want to take that image and go away with it?
What used to be a golden friendship now feels like a turned back.
I pray that what words I use today, that it'll touch the hearts of someone out there that'll hear me and be willing to talk to us about this. Because I'm telling you, it will absolutely...
Hey, it's Twig. Did you know that Elon Musk's AI company is polluting a low-income area in Memphis called Boxtown, where 90% of the residents are black and the median household income is $36,000 per year? Residents are saying that they, quote-unquote, can't breathe and that it smells like gas outside. And this AI facility owned by Elon Musk is emitting smog-forming pollution. And as a result, Shelby County is one of the leading in the state when it comes to emergency department visits for asthma. Now, in the last 11 months, Boxtown has become one of Shelby County's largest emitters of smog-producing nitrogen oxides, and while other companies are required to register with EPA toxic release inventory, Elon's company does not. There are 35 methane gas turbines that are supposed to help, but they are not equipped with pollution control that is typically required by federal rules. Guys, this is environmental warfare and environmental racism. This is impacting thousands of Tennesseans in the Memphis area. They've had environmental town halls to no avail with no resources added and no change happening, and it doesn't seem like anybody's talking about it.
I'm currently outside of XAI, which is the new supercomputer that the South African scammer has put in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, specifically in South Memphis, which is the blackest, poorest area of Memphis, Tennessee. So it smells terrible out here. The stench is horrible, and that's because of the air pollution that is going on. We know that there's about 35 gas turbines being used by this facility right now, and the Southern Poverty Law Center believes that that is a violation of the Clean Air Act. But on top of that, this facility requires about 1 million gallons of water per day to cool down the supercomputer. The problem is Memphis sits on top of a natural aquifer, deep groundwater, pure good water that comes out of our tap. And for decades, activists have tried to protect the water because there's constant threats to it, including this right here, okay? Now, they say they're going to build a gray water recycle facility in partnership with the TVA down the street, but the problem is that's only going to reduce the strain on the aquifer by about 9%. And they're still going to dump about 80% of that water into the Mississippi River, which who knows what that will do to the environment as they're dumping that in there, okay? They have purposely put this facility here in a black city in America, again, in one of the poorest, blackest neighborhoods in the city, because they want to get away with all of these clean air and clean water violations. And this isn't just going to impact the people around here, okay? If you live out in East Memphis, if you live out in Bartlett or Collierville or whatever, and you're not smelling the air because you're not right on top of it, baby, we drink the same water. The air moves around. This is going to make so many people sick. There's no need for this supercomputer. All it's doing is it's harming our environment. It's harming our water. It's going to make our children sick. It's going to make elderly people in the area sicker. This is not a solution. This is not anything that's going to be of use to anybody in this city. All it is a hindrance. And we need to make sure that the Memphis City Council, that the Shelby County Mayor, that the Memphis City Mayor understand that this is a problem. And we're looking at this nationally, okay? Don't think that the locals are the only ones paying attention to this nonsense. People all around the country and all around the world are watching Memphis right now. And so I'm looking at Memphis leadership and asking, what are you going to do? Because do you really want to have your name on something like this? Do you really want to attach your name to another failure by Elon Musk that is put out to harm people?
Tennesseans, I hope you are really paying attention to which political candidates are really fighting for you. There was a forum today that was sponsored by the Tennessee Farm Bureau, and it was astounding to hear all of these Republican candidates talk about culture wars from 2024. Like, this is about the economy. This is about what's happening to agriculture, what tariffs are doing. People want to know what affects them. And we got a Yahoo up here still talking about trans athletes and other crazy things that don't pertain to the topic at hand. I mean, do some research about what's going on with the Arkansas farmers right now. They are in desperate need of help. Farmers around this country need help, and I want to just scream at the top of my lungs to say it is Democrats that are going to help you.
Hey, so I have a question for Sevier County government. So I was wondering the other day, because we just keep building things and building things and building things, which none of them are housing, by the way, and the ones that are housing are timeshares or luxury condos that nobody can afford. I got curious, and I wondered what the population of Sevier County was and how much of that population actually worked, and then how many jobs there are, because we are all spread very, very fucking thin around here, right? So it turns out that the population of my county is about 100,000 people, and of those 100,000 people, 54,647 of them are able to be in the workforce. That excludes the elderly, the disabled, children, and people who are retired. Okay, of those 54,647 people, 51,000 of them roughly already have jobs. So even to give you a little bit, we'll say 5,000 people of the work that are able to be in the workforce are not employed. Now, do you know how many jobs are available in this county? Over 18,000. Over 18,000 jobs are available in this county. So who's supposed to work those jobs? Who's supposed to work those jobs? Are the 51,000 people that are already employed supposed to get more jobs? Because I know a ton of people who already have more than one job. Or are those 5,000 people who aren't employed supposed to get 3 jobs? Or do you want people to move here to work those jobs? Because in that case, if you want people to move here to work those jobs, you need somewhere for them to live. And guess how many available properties are for rent, lease, or purchase in this county? Yes. 325. 325. But you all just keep building things, allowing businesses to come up here and keep building things when there's already not enough people here to work the jobs that are in the county. Like, I understand that there are people and they come here and they commute and things like that, but there's still 18,000 jobs to be had and no one to work them, and you all keep building anything but housing. Make that make sense.
See now where new immigration laws take the crackdown a step further. The laws create sweeping criminal penalties for anyone who provides shelter to an undocumented immigrant. The American Immigration Council says they make it illegal for a church to offer temporary shelter, a landlord to rent out a room, or a family member to live with someone who is undocumented.
This is Tennessee Trump Voter Uproar, raw, emotional, and impossible to ignore. The economic pain is no longer abstract, it's personal. So what happens when belief collides with hardship? When policies hit home? Watch closely, because what's unfolding in Tennessee could be a warning sign for what comes next. Subscribe, stay informed, and don't look away. See you at the next one.